Coffee Break Spanish, program 64.
Buenos dias, how you do? We got something for you. A bit of Spanish you can try. It's not hard, now don't you cry. Más cerveza, por favor. Un cafecito, I want more. No haggis here, I hope that's fine. Just a bit of Espanol online. Espanol, you're in control. Just be resilient. One in Spanish is dead brilliant. Just be prepared. Mark and Kara will take you there. Now you're on a roll. Coffee Break Español.
Buenas tardes.
Hola.
Aquí estamos de nuevo con otro programa de Coffee Break Spanish.
It's time for another program of Coffee Break Spanish.
We've been talking about por and para, and tonight we're going to change the topic a little. We're moving on to complete another gap in our learning of verbs.
Okay.
We're going to look at another past tense, which is used in a couple of situations, but it's something that's very useful to know.
Bueno, let's get on with the lesson then.
¿Estás lista?
Sí, Mark. Estoy lista para aprender español con Coffee Break Spanish.
Coffee Break Español.
So, Cara, so far we have learned two different tenses for talking about the past. What were they?
The imperfect and the preterite.
That's right, the imperfect and the preterite. The imperfect was used, well, can you remember which situations the imperfect was used in?
When you're saying was or were doing something, when you used to do something, when you would do something in the past, and also for descriptions like the weather.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the imperfect. And what about the preterite?
When it's a stum, a completed action in the past.
That's, when it's a thum. Basically, any time there is a completed action in the past, and often the preterite interrupts the imperfect. Now, there was one other tense that we didn't mention at the time, and I didn't mention it for a reason. The reason being, it perhaps would complicate things a little too much, and you can get away with the preterite in many situations. However, there is this other tense to talk about things that you have done, or things that you've done recently, for example. And this is the tense that we're going to be learning today. It's called the perfect tense, and I have to say it's perfectly easy to form. It's used primarily to translate the idea of have done something. We've already looked at was doing in the imperfect, used to do, and would do. And the key word here for the perfect tense is have done. So, for example, I have done my homework. That would be an example where the perfect tense is used, and in actual fact, it's used in English as well. I have done something. That's the English perfect tense. It's sometimes called the present perfect because it tends to involve something that is still related in some way to the present. You've done something in the past, but it's still related to the present. Let's conjugate it. Let's learn how to form it first, and then we'll talk a little more about how it's used. The first thing that we need for this tense is something called the past participle. Now, the past participle is taken from the infinitive of the verb, and you change the infinitive slightly to give you the past participle. Let's take the infinitive hablar, one that we take very often when we're looking at verbs. Hablar means?
To speak.
Exactly. So with hablar, we're going to take off the AR at the end and add the ending ado. That's A-D-O. So hablar, the infinitive, becomes hablado.
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 And watch that lovely Spanish D in there. Remember, it's quite like the th of the word in English, the, as opposed to a very strong D sound. Obviously, that varies slightly across the Spanish-speaking world. But if you can say hablado as opposed to hablado, then you'll probably sound a little more Spanish. Hablado.
Hablado.
Okay. So this hablado is called the past participle, and it works for all AR verbs. Cantar, to sing, becomes cantado.
Cantado.
Comprar, to buy, becomes comprado.
Comprado.
Bailar, to dance, would become
Bailado.
bailado. Trabajar, to work, becomes
Trabajado.
trabajado. Muy bien. So these are the past participles of AR verbs. You take off the AR and add ado. Let's think now about ER and IR verbs, because again, both ER and IR form the past participle in the same way, just as they do in some other tenses. Let's take comer. Comer means?
To eat.
Of course it does. Comer, you take off the ER and add IDO. Ido. So comer becomes comido.
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 Okay. Let's take another example. Beber. Beber means?
To drink.
And it becomes?
Bebido.
Bebido. So comer, comido, beber, bebido. Let's take an IR verb. Let's take vivir, not to be confused with beber. Vivir means?
To live.
So the past participle of vivir is vivido.
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 Muy bien. So we've got AR verbs which form their past participle by taking off the AR and adding ADO, ado, comprado, bailado, trabajado. And then ER and IR verbs, both of which take off the ER or the IR and add ido, IDO, as in bebido, vivido,
Comido.
comido. But what does all this mean? Well, if we think of comprado, for example, comprar means to buy, comprado means bought. Okay? So if trabajar means to work, trabajado could be translated as?
Worked.
Worked, exactly. Vivir means to live, vivido,
Lived.
exactly. And let's do one more. Beber, to drink, bebido,
Drunk.
drunk, exactly. Okay, not drunk as in the adjective sense, but as in what we're going to use to put that together with the to have done something. So we now need to think about the to have done something bit. Okay, the have bought, have drunk, have eaten, and so on. This is where perhaps it gets a little more complicated. How do you say I have?
Tengo.
Tengo. Yeah, that's from the verb tener, which means to have or to possess or whatever. But this have, as in to have done something, is a different verb. Okay, you can't say tengo comprado or anything like that. That's wrong. Wrong. Okay, and if anybody's studied Portuguese, then this is going to be a little bit complicated for you. You don't say tengo plus the past participle. You use a different verb, and that different verb in Spanish is haber, and that's spelled Haber. Haber.
Haber.
Do you remember the word I?
Yes, from our song about the town. Like, hay 19 restaurantes.
That's it, yeah. I. What does I mean?
There is or there are.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I comes from the same verb, haber. But it's an impersonal form, and we're not going to get into that just now. What we do need to do is learn the conjugation of haber. And it starts with e.
E.
I have, but not as in I have a sister. It's I have as in I have done something. E.
E.
As.
As.
A.
A.
E as a.
E as a.
Hemos.
Hemos.
Habéis.
Habéis.
Han.
An.
Hemos. Habéis. Han.
Hemos. Habéis. An.
E as a. Hemos. Habéis. Han.
E as a. Hemos. Habéis. An.
Okay, now we're going to now start putting this immediately together with past participles. So let's take he comprado.
He comprado.
I have
Bought.
bought. Okay, he comprado una casa.
I have bought a house.
He comprado una casa. I have bought a house. Has comprado una casa.
You have bought a house.
Yeah, has, the you, the tú form. Has comprado una casa.
Has comprado una casa.
Has comprado una casa. Ha comprado una casa. Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Miguel has bought a house.
Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Now just watch that, Cara. It's ha comprado.
Ha comprado.
Okay, Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Teresa's feminine, ha comprado una casa.
Teresa ha comprado una casa.
Yeah. So it's feminine and masculine, and they both take comprado.
Okay.
Okay? So comprado never changes. If you've learned French and you're used to past participles changing all over the place, don't worry, you don't need to do this in Spanish. They're all the same. Comprado, no matter who it is that's done the buying. So, Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Miguel ha comprado una casa.
Now let's just go back through this. He comprado, I have bought. Has comprado, you have bought. Ha comprado, he, she, or it has bought. Notice that the comprado doesn't change. It never changes, but it's the part of haber that changes. He, has, ha. He comprado, has comprado, ha comprado. So, let's now think about we have bought. Hemos comprado una casa.
Hemos comprado una casa.
Hemos comprado una casa.
Hemos comprado una casa.
Hemos comprado una casa. We have bought a house. Let's look at the vosotros form, the you plural informal that's used in Spain. Habéis comprado una casa.
Habéis comprado una casa.
Watch the stress there. Habéis. Habéis comprado una casa.
Habéis comprado una casa.
Sí, exacto. Habéis comprado una casa. You all have bought a house. And then finally, han comprado una casa.
Han comprado una casa.
Han comprado una casa would mean,
They have bought a house.
yeah, they have bought a house. Or indeed, it could also be referring to ustedes. Ustedes han comprado una casa. The polite, the formal, you plural form. And indeed the informal plural form used in most of Latin America. So that's all using comprar in the perfect tense. To have bought. Haber comprado. He comprado. Has comprado. Ha comprado. Hemos comprado. Habéis comprado. Han comprado. Let's take another of our verbs and see if we can test your knowledge, Cara, on this already, okay?
Okay.
Let's take trabajado, okay?
Okay.
I have worked.
He trabajado.
Yeah. She has worked.
Ha trabajado.
Yeah, that's right. And remember, it's trabajado, even if it's she. Ha trabajado. And what about we have danced?
Hemos bailado.
Hemos bailado. They have sung.
Han cantado.
And cantado. You see how easy this tense is?
Yep, really
It's
easy.
really easy. Okay, and let's throw in a couple of ER and IR verbs, which of course are going to take the ido ending. So let's think about I have lived.
He vivido.
He vivido. That's it. He vivido. I have lived. So how would you say I have lived in Spain?
He vivido en España.
Exacto. I think we're getting the idea.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cara, I'm going to ask you a question here. And the question is, ¿Qué has hecho hoy? Now, hecho is what we would call an irregular past participle. It comes from the verb hacer, which means,
To do or to make.
yeah. So, ¿Qué has hecho hoy?
What have you done today?
Exactly, well done. So, hecho is the past participle of hacer, so it means done. ¿Qué has hecho hoy? What have you done today? Entonces, Cara, ¿qué has hecho hoy?
He trabajado.
¿Has
hoy.
trabajado?
Sí.
¿Mucho?
Mucho, sí.
¿Has estudiado?
Sí.
¿Has aprendido español?
Claro que sí.
¿Qué más?
He hablado con mi amiga.
Sí, muy bien.
He comido paella.
Ah, ¿has comido paella?
Sí,
¿Fuiste a algún restaurante español?
sí.
Muy bien. ¿Y algo más?
No, es todo.
Eso es todo. Vale. Ahora quiero que tú me hagas la pregunta.
Ok. ¿Qué has hecho hoy?
Bueno, hoy he trabajado, he preparado algunos materiales para el podcast, he jugado con mis 2 hijos, he hablado con mi mujer, he hecho muchas cosas.
Okay.
So what did I do?
Everything.
Yeah.
I can't remember now. You did lots of things.
Yeah. He jugado con mis hijos.
You played with your sons.
He hablado con mi mujer.
You talked with your wife.
He trabajado.
You worked lots.
Y he preparado algunos materiales para el podcast.
You prepared materials for the podcast.
Exacto. Y bueno, ya está. This, hopefully, has introduced you to the perfect tense. And it's this idea of translating I have done something, I have eaten, I have done my homework, and so on. We're going to cover this a little more next time. But in the meantime, we'll leave it there.
Coffee Break Español.
So that's where we're going to leave it this week.
Hopefully, this lesson has helped us all to get to grips with the perfect tense. Don't forget that you can access lots more information at the website www.coffeebreakspanish.com.
And on our company website, that's www.radiolingua.com, you can find out about our other podcasts, including A Flavour of German, our newest podcast for German learners, and you can also sign up for our mailing list, through which you'll receive information about our latest developments and also discount codes for the materials that you can buy in our store.
And if you use Twitter, then don't forget you can keep in touch with us and follow our latest information. Just go to twitter.com/Radiolingua.
Bueno, eso es todo.
We'll be back again soon with more Coffee Break Spanish.
Gracias a todos por haber descargado este programa.
Hasta pronto!
Adiós.
Coffee Break Español.
This podcast was brought to you by the Radiolingua Network. Find out more at www.radiolingua.com.